Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Rukmini Dwakadish Rukmini Dwakadish Rukmini Dwakadish Rukmini Dwakadish Jaya Rukmini Dwakadish Rukmini Dwakadish Rukmini Dwakadish Rukmini Dwakadish Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Prabhu Asatata C.C. Mari Divine Grace C.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON BBT Founder Charges Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Prabhupada Asatata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisaranta Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Ananti Kori Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gogopinath Shyamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhana Ki Jai Shiva Navandam ki jai, Sri Mayapur Navadip Dham ki jai, Jagannath Puri Dham ki jai, New Dwarka Dham Ganga Mai ki jai, Tulsi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Jamuna Mai ki jai, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. All glorious assembled devotees, all glorious assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Lagaita Girim Yat Kipatam Aham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Jai Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. All right, we're on text number 3. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Prajāpatiḥ sa bhagavān rucis tasyām ajījanat mithunaṁ brahma-varcasvī parameṇa samādhinā prajāpatiḥ sa bhagavān rucis tasyām ajījanat mithunaṁ brahma-varcasvī parameṇa samādhinā prajāpatiḥ sa bhagavān rucis tasyām ajījanat mithunaṁ brahma-varcasvī parameṇa samādhinā prajāpatiḥ sa bhagavān rucis tasyām ajījanat mithunaṁ brahma-varcasvī parameṇa samādhinā. Rucis tasyām ajījanat mithunaṁ brahma-varcasvī parameṇa samādhinā prajāpatiḥ sa bhagavān rucis tasyām ajījanat mithunaṁ brahma-varcasvī parameṇa samādhinā. Mataji's. Prajāpatiḥ sa bhagavān rucis tasyām ajījanat mithunaṁ brahma-varcasvī parameṇa samādhinā Prajāpatiḥ sa bhagavān rucis tasyām ajījanat mithunaṁ brahma-varcasvī, parameṇa samādhinā, bhagavān. Rucis tasyām ajījanat, mithunaṁ brahma-varcasvī, parameṇa samādhinā. Synonyms. Prajāpatiḥ, one who is entrusted with begetting children. Saha, he. Bhagavān, the most opulent. Ruci, the great sage Ruci. Tasyām, in her. Ajījanat, gave birth. Mithunaṁ, couple. Brahma-varcasvī, spiritually very much powerful. Parameṇa, with great strength. Samādhinā, in trance. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Ruci, who was very powerful in his brahminical qualifications and was appointed one of the progenitors of the living entities, begot one son and one daughter by his wife Ākūti. Purport. The word brahma-varcasvī is very significant. Ruci was a brahmana, and he executed the brahminical duties very rigidly. As stated in Bhagavad-gītā, the brahminical qualifications are control of the senses, control of the mind, cleanliness within and without, development of spiritual and material knowledge, simplicity, truthfulness, faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, etc. There are many qualities which indicate a brahminical personality, and it is understood that Ruci followed all the brahminical principles rigidly. Therefore, he is specifically mentioned as brahma-varcasvī, one who is born of a brahmana father but does not act as a brahmana is called, in Vedic language, a brahma-bandhu, and is calculated to be on the level of Sudras and women. Thus, in the Bhagavatam, we find that Mahabharata was specifically compiled by Vyasadeva for strī-śūdra-brahma-bandhu. Strī means women, Sudra means the lower class of civilized human society, and Brahma-bandhu means persons who are born in the families of brahmanas but do not follow the rules and regulations carefully. All of these three classes are called less intelligent. They have no access to the study of the Vedas, which are specifically meant for persons who have acquired the brahminical qualifications. This restriction is based not upon any sectarian distinction, but upon qualification. The Vedic literatures cannot be understood unless one has developed the brahminical qualifications. It is regrettable, therefore, that persons who have no brahminical qualifications and have never been trained under a bona fide spiritual master nevertheless comment on the Vedic literatures like the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and other Puranas, for such persons cannot deliver the real message. Ruci was considered a first-class brahmana, therefore he is mentioned here as brahma-varcasvī, one who had full prowess in brahminical strength. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Gananjana-shalakya Chakshu Umlitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Panchakalpa Trubhyasya Kripa Sindhaveta Paritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai. This whole chapter of the Bhagavatam is rather complicated and very lengthy in terms of understanding the genealogical process of the parampara and Krishna consciousness. When I was looking at this verse, I was thinking that what could we possibly speak about? So I thought that interesting point that Prabhupada made was about brahminical qualifications. And he stresses that the restriction upon who and who shouldn't know or hear about the Vedas are persons who are not so strict, and then of course those that are like very strict in their execution of Krishna consciousness. And I was thinking, well, what is our qualification as devotees? Our first birth was mother and father that was very much involved in Maya, illusion, committing so many sinful activities. And at the same time, we as children of those individuals, that is our first birth. And it was very low birth. So how is it? What is our qualification? How can we, as devotees now today, practice Krishna consciousness? What is our status? Who are we? What are we? And what qualification do we have even here today to read the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and even, in that matter, speak about the Bhagavatam? What to speak of just reading it, but what to speak about speaking on the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So the important factor for us as devotees in Krishna consciousness is that we have to take initiation from a bona fide spiritual master. That is our qualification. Although we come from a very low birth, but that is our first birth. The second birth is given to us by the spiritual master. It's described, tadvidi paripatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnanena stapana darshinaha. That, we surrender to that person who knows the truth about Krishna consciousness. And that individual, we inquire submissively from that particular individual, and we render service to that individual. And by these three activities, the import of Vedic knowledge will be automatically revealed to each and every one of us that are sincere in our endeavor to hear this message of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and become qualified individuals to speak on the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So, when I was reading this, I was thinking that, yes, what kind of individuals and what kind of background do we actually come from, and how can we progress? What should we be doing? What kind of lifestyle should we live? And Srila Prabhupada gave all of that to us. He gave us the Krishna conscious formula, living in a temple, chanting together, worshipping the deities, and brahminical qualities such as cleanliness, control of the mind, cleanliness within and without, development of spiritual and material knowledge, simplicity, truthfulness, faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, how do we acquire this? How is it that we can acquire this, or how should we acquire it? And we see that the instruction of the spiritual master is our book. That's how we learn, from the spiritual master. That is our qualification. And I was thinking that as we progress in spiritual life, we become more and more purified, and that is the qualification for us to be able to read and study the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. But we're talking about the essence of Krishna consciousness also, and that's the depth of our understanding. And Krishna says in Bhagavad-gītā, masjita matkata prana bodhayantam parasparam katayanta samam nicham tushtanti charamanti cha. Very important that those devotees who are my pure devotees, their habits are that their lives are fully devoted to my service. And they derive great satisfaction and bliss in enlightening each other. So that's Krishna consciousness. We associate with each other, we enlighten each other, and we develop great satisfaction and bliss in enlightening one another. That is real Krishna consciousness. That is the symptom of a person who has taken the initiation from a bona fide spiritual master, and that is the mood of that devotee, that their consciousness and their relationship with other devotees is based on that principle of serving the spiritual master, serving Krishna, enlightening one another about Krishna consciousness, serving together. These are essential parts of advancement in Krishna consciousness. And this is what makes us qualified to be a proper recipient from the mercy of the spiritual master. And that activity in itself is very purifying for each and every one of us. And Krishna says also, Tesam satatam yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam tadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam yupayanti te. Those who are constantly devoted to me, serving me with love and devotion, I give the understanding on which they can approach me, to come to me. That's the result, that's the benefit of that relationship in that way, in conversing with each other, discussing, and at the same time trying to develop brahminical qualities. So how do we develop those brahminical qualities? That's by the association, by discussing, by encouraging each other to do this very nicely. And, Prabhupada gave us that formula of, rising in the morning, doing Mangal Artik, Mangal hours, rise early, take bath, pay obeisances to the spiritual master, and chant Hare Krishna. And then come to the temple for Mangal Artik. These are the purificatory processes in Krishna consciousness. This is how one develops a brahminical standard, or a brahminical position in Krishna consciousness. Those things are very important. But also, another aspect of it is that Lord Chaitanya in his Shastika prayer says that we should chant the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And chanting and hearing about Krishna, glorifying Krishna, and one's mind gradually becomes purified, because our minds are so much caught up with so many different things, so many crazy ideas, so much material information. But we can see that if we do the chanting very nicely, if we actually chant and glorify Krishna and his activities, the mind gradually becomes purified. But due to our material association, since time immemorial, we've developed so many bad habits, so many bad kind of thoughts and ideas. So this is what creates another body, these ideas, these thoughts. And unless we purify ourselves by the chanting of the holy name and hearing and glorifying Krishna, we can never get rid of that. So bhakti, or devotional service, is characterized by two things, vairagya and by jnana. Jnana means that one understands that we're not this body. It's very important. We're not this body. That's jnana. And then vairagya means that we actually become freed from the desires of sense gratification. So these are incorporated within the bhakti yoga process, just jnana and vairagya. And by that activity of jnana, understanding we're not the body, we can become self-realized. A devotee can become very happy And Krishna says in the Bhagavad-gītā, Bhaktyamam avijananti yavanyasasmi tato man tatvato gyata vishatetara. He's stating there that only by bhakti can he be known. Only by that process, no other process. By bhakti. And so in Krishna consciousness, we teach bhakti yoga. And again, the process of vairagya and jnana are extremely important. And that vairagya is based on the principles of the four principles, only taking Krishna prasadam, chanting the holy name. These are the things that will eventually help us understand that we're not these bodies. And I think that in this particular purport and verse, we see that Prabhupada makes this comment that the Vedas, which are specifically meant for persons who have acquired the brahminical qualifications, this restriction is based upon any, not a sectarian distinction, but upon qualification. The Vedic literatures cannot be understood unless one has developed the brahminical qualification. So this is Krishna consciousness. We're trying to develop the brahminical qualities. And by developing those qualities, then we become qualified to read, to hear, to chant the Vedic literatures, the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the Bhagavad-gītā. And Krishna says that if we actually do this, Chatvadiham punarjama 1982 Arjuna, that if we do this, then we will never come back again to this material world. It'll be a finished, no more. We don't come back anymore, where this life is finished in terms of this material world. But we go back to Godhead. So Bhakti Yoga can be directly perceived. You can experience directly Bhakti Yoga in the daily activity, our daily practice. You can experience it. And you can actually experience your spiritual life, your spiritual advancement, your ecstasies. Whereas in different types of yogas, Jnana Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Jnana Yoga, yeah, all these different yogas, you're unsure. You don't know if you're making advancement. You don't know if you are or if you're not. You don't know if it's a waste of time or if it's, a good thing to do. You can't figure it out. You're kind of in a limbo. But Bhakti Yoga, one can perceive as he progresses in spiritual life by vairagya and by jnana. The more that we perceive and understand that we're not the body, the more blissful you become. The more that you get involved and dedicate yourself to vairagya, to actually becoming less and less attached and desirous of sense gratification, you can perceive that you're happier, you become satisfied, you become happy, you can become blissful. And when you come to kirtan, you dance and you chant, you play instruments, you shout out loud the holy name of the Lord in ecstasy. So that one, we can actually see that progress. Sometimes when a new devotee comes into the temple, you can see the transformation of that devotee. It's self-evident in just looking at the devotee. These young boys that we have here and girls that come to Krishna consciousness, you see when they came, they're kind of shy, kind of, introverted. But then all of a sudden, by chanting the holy name, they come ecstatic. And they want to learn how to play the instrument. They want to learn how to chant. They want to really chant nicely. They want to be really sincere. They really want to please the devotees, the spiritual master. So you can see that transformation. And the real test is how to maintain that standard. That's the test of our Krishna consciousness. Can we keep that standard? Can we keep that enthusiasm? Can we actually keep that desire to preach, to give people Krishna consciousness? That's the real test of Krishna consciousness. Actually, Krishna says, tasyām evanukam partam aham ajījanat jantama nasam yatma bhavasto jnana dipena bhaspataha. Krishna says that to show special mercy There's a special mercy, and you can see it especially with the new devotees. Krishna gives that special mercy. He's dwelling in the heart of every living entity. And he gives that special mercy with the shining lamp of knowledge. Especially with a new devotee, you see it. They develop knowledge. Krishna's in the heart, and he gives them that knowledge. And you can see the exhibition of that knowledge within a very sincere devotee, because they become happy. And this ignorance is dissipated. It's gone. And they feel so much satisfaction and happiness. So, this is a very important aspect of Krishna consciousness, is to maintain this jnana and vairagya. We have to feel that if we want to keep that particular ecstasy, that desire to serve, we have to become more and more dedicated to the chanting, to the preaching, distributing Srila Prabhupada's literatures, becoming austere, actually becoming more and more austere. And that austerity means that one wants less and less sense gratification. That's the austerity. Everything else is okay. But just wanting less and less sense gratification is the key element in terms of making advancement in Krishna consciousness. And then, of course, we get this jnana, this knowledge from that. What is that? You're not this body. That's the result of that vairagya. You realize, I'm really not this body. And, in a certain aspect of our life, we find it very difficult to believe that or to understand it. But by perseverance, by dedication, by steadiness, and by becoming sincere and executing the instruction of the spiritual master, it comes gradually. I can say through the years that it just naturally happens. When I was a younger devotee, I was full of desire. There were so many things I wanted to do and so many things I thought I needed. But just by being in Krishna consciousness, not doing anything extraordinary, but just being a devotee and staying steadfast and in no circumstance unfailing, that's very important. Mam chayavya bigacharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatitatan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, unfailingly, that's very important, unfailingly, under all circumstances, transcends the modes of material nature. We go beyond, we go above the modes of nature. And all we have to do is just be steady in our Krishna conscious life. Just be sincere and just hang on to the lotus feet of the spiritual master. No matter what circumstance or situation may occur, we just hold on. And then one can actually become brahma-varcasvī. Yes, that's true, you can become one. And because Prabhupada says that that particular brahmana is a strict follower, and this Ruci was a strict follower of the brahminical principles, whereas the brahma-bandhus, not so strict. So let's not become a brahma-bandhu and not be so strict in the execution of our religious Krishna conscious life. Let's be strict with ourselves in that principle, and let's make spiritual advancement, and we can become happy. That's the solution. You become happy just by that principle. You don't have to do anything phantasmagoria, be a big gun or anything. Just be a sincere devotee and execute our service nicely. And from that we develop jnana and vairagya, and we can become a solid brahminical devotee in Krishna consciousness. So that's what I gleaned out of this particular purport. It was kind of a mixed bag of things in here, but so anyway, that's what I understood. Okay, so I brought some paraphernalia with me also today, because today's a very special day. It's the disappearance of Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj, Raghunath Das Goswami, and I just looked up a few things about them, so I'll just read it very, very quickly. This is Raghunath Das Goswami. I'll just try to be real quick. Raghunath Das Goswami was a disciple of Sri Yadunandan Acharya, the apostle of the Vaishnava saint Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the principal six of whom are renowned as the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. Together, the six Goswamis codified the philosophy and records which became the theological basis of the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. Among them, Raghunath Das was renowned for his qualities of simplicity and renunciation. He was born as the son of a wealthy Kayastha landlord, Govardhan Das, from Saptagram in Hooghly district of present-day West Bengal. Raghunath Das is said to have shown a particular disinterest in everyday pleasures and an interest in more religious pursuits from a relatively young age. This was much to the displeasure of his parents, who eventually took to hiring guards in order to prevent Raghunath Das from leaving the family home with the aim of having a spiritual life. Eventually, Raghunath Das escaped their home and made a journey to Jagannath Puri, where he met his guru, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. A major event that Raghunath Das Goswami organized was the Kshirodahi festival in Panihati. Raghunath was visiting Panihati to meet Lord Nitai, who is incarnation of Baladev and his associates. Nitai requested him to feed chuda dahi, or curd mixed with chipped rice, to all the devotees who were present there. Raghunath arranged for the ingredients from the neighboring villages and helped by his associates, prepared two kinds of chuda dahi. One contained chipped rice mixed with curd, sugar, and banana. The other contained chipped rice mixed with condensed milk, sugar, ghee, and edible camphor. Then the preparations were served out and everybody enjoyed. According to accounts in the Chaitanya Charitamrita written by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Raghunath Das led a life of extreme devotional practice, spending more than 22 hours out of every 24 hours chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and eating and sleeping for less than an hour and a half per day. And on some days, that also was reduced. His clothes included a simple torn cloth and a patchwork scarf. In this connection, Raghunath Das is quoted to have said, quote, "If one's heart has been cleansed by perfect knowledge and one has understood Krishna, the Supreme Brahman, he then gains everything. Why should such a person act like a debauchee by trying very carefully to maintain his material body?" End of quote. Raghunath Das Goswami served Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for 16 years at Jagannath Puri, after which he went to Vrindavan in 1543 to 44, where he lived for many years as at a sacred lake known as Radhakund. His bhajan kutir, or place of worship, still exists there and is visited by many pilgrims to this day. Yes, if you ever get to India, that's one thing you should definitely come to Radhakund and see the Samadhi tomb. Okay, today is also the disappearance of Srila Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. I don't know if I have the eyes to read this. Does anybody have the eyes to read this? One of the devotees. I can't see it. Sorry. Maybe Brigo, can you read it? My eyes don't work that good.
Srila Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, also called Kirtanacharya, dedicated his entire life to talking about Lord Krishna and spreading the word about him. He served Lord Krishna faithfully for over 40 years. During his life, he became a scholar in all subjects. Furthermore, he would sing praises of the Lord, sing sonnets, and perform the kirtans. Also, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami was not interested in the conversations about worldly pleasures. Even when he was not performing his duties, he was talking about Lord Krishna. He was known to be immersed in the praises of Lord Krishna and Krishna Katha. There have been many devout lovers of Lord Krishna, but the world has never seen as staunch a devotee of Lord Krishna as Srila Raghunath Bhatt Goswami. In his lifetime, he traveled to Vrindavan and inspired many. During his lifetime, Raghunath Bhatt Goswami became intellectual in all subjects, and he only did so by listening to Shastras. Unlike other Goswamis, he did not write a book. However, his tales and his work are known to the world. Raghunath Bhatt Goswami served Lord Krishna faithfully for over 40 years, and when he passed away, his ashes were divided into 2 portions and placed in 2 samadhis. This blog will go through the details of Raghunath Bhatt Goswami. It will talk about how he spent his days, what order he followed, and how devoted he was to Lord Krishna. Furthermore, and it tells about what this thing. But that's the essence of it, what I just read.
That's the essence.
Raghunath Bhatt Goswami.
Okay, thank you. So now we can hear about Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Krishnadas was born in 1496 in October. He was known by the honorific Kaviraj, or Bengali name, was the author of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, a biography on the life of the mystic and saint Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is considered by the Gaudiya Vaishnava school of Hinduism to be an incarnation of Radha and Krishna combined. There is scant information about the life of Krishnadas Kaviraj. Krishnadas was born in 1496 in a Bengali Bidya family in the village of Jamatpur within the district of Bardhaman, Bengal. His father was called Bhagirata and his mother was named Sunanda. He also had a younger brother. Both his parents died when he was young, and he and his brother were raised by relatives. He died on October 15th, 1588. His Samadhi shrine exists at the Radha Damodar temple in Vrindavan. Krishnadas relates in his Chaitanya Charitamrita that once his brother argued with the prominent Vaishnava devotee Meena Ketana Ramdas over the ontological positions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, and belittled the position of Nityananda. Krishnadas considered this to be an unpardonable offense, and he rejected his brother forthwith. After receiving instructions in a vision from Nityananda, Krishnadas left Bengal and traveled to Vrindavan, where he took initiation from Raghunath Das Goswami, one of the direct followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. At an advanced age and in poor health, Krishnadas Kaviraj commenced work on his magnum opus, the Chaitanya Charitamrita. After being repeatedly petitioned by the devotees in Vrindavan, who had never met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and who were eager for details, he vividly describes in the text itself, quote, "I have now become too old and disturbed by invalidity. While writing, my hands tremble. I cannot remember anything, nor can I see or hear properly. Still I write, and this is a great wonder." End of quote. In composing his Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas used the diaries of Murari Gupta and Swarup Damodar, both of whom were intimate associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishnadas was also given a great deal of information by his guru, Raghunath Das Goswami, who had served Swarup Damodar when the latter was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's personal secretary. Due to its amount of detail on the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his precepts, the Chaitanya Charitamrita became the definitive biography of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In the Gaura Ganadesha Dipika of Kavi Karnapur, Krishnadas Kaviraj is identified as being an incarnation of the handmaiden of Radha called Kasturi Manjari. Krishnadas Kaviraj Maharaj ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai. Thank you very much. Hari Bol. Yes, Nakama Prabhu.
Thank you for a very wonderful class. I just wanted to tie together what you were saying and what Srila Prabhupada says in today's purport with the glorification of such great personalities as Raghunatha and Raghunath Bhatta. Prabhupada comments in today's purport that the first-class brahmana or a first-class brahmana can deliver others when he understands the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and accepts it from a bona fide representative. Prabhupada comments here that the Vedic literatures like the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and other Puranas cannot be delivered by those who don't know the real message. And today's, in your comment about the Goswamis, is just that. They were persons who were qualified to disseminate the real message of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And Raghunath Das Goswami makes one glorification of Sanatana Goswami, where he says that Kripambudir Yakpara Dukkha Dukhi. He describes the Vaishnavas as an ocean of mercy for the fallen conditioned souls. Indeed, he's so compassionate that although for himself he knows no unhappiness, but feels unhappiness on account of their suffering.
Yeah. Nice.
Such great personalities such as Raghunath Bhatta and Raghunath Das and Krishnadas Kaviraj are those kinds of persons, and they're directly confirmed in Srila Prabhupada's purport that only such persons can deliver the real message.
Yeah. Thank you. Sweet, very sweet. Thank you. Okay? Thank you very much. Hari Bol.